Hello everyone, welcome back to Golf Cart Garage. We're here once again. We're going to welcome back to the tech part of Golf Cart Garage, where we talk about some questions that people have. We discuss them, we see if we can answer their questions. We talk to people in the live, we see if we can answer their questions also. We come here every week, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 noon Central Time. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube. That's where we're at right now. If you're watching me on November the 9th at 12 noon Central Time, you are live. We are watching it live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see here. We already got people in the room. Gene Hansen, what's going on, Gene? I think I've already said let's see, haven't I? I think I just heard myself say it. Kurt, anxiously waiting for more information. What's up, Kurt? David Irwin, hey David. Sunny and it's raining here, Brock. It's raining here right now. I got wet walking over here just now, but and the cool front's coming through. So we got a warm front and a cool front touching right now. It's causing rain and temperature's dropping. It's getting a little cool outside. I just know it's just starting to happen right now as we speak. Because this morning it was warm still, and now it's cold. Patrick Welch, hey Tim, what's the best way to test a manual forward and reverse switch 99 EZGO TXT? Well, you have to, the best way to test it is just basically to understand how it works first. And once you understand how it works, it's a very simple device. It's copper contacts that are touching each other via that little round cam that's got 4 contacts. And then when you switch to forward, the 4 contacts just move to another position and they connect with other contacts. So as long as those contacts are touching, they're clean and tight, no corrosion, no heat building up, no damage to the forward and reverse switch, everything should be fine there. Basically the only things that you need to test is continuity on those micro switches. There's some micro switches there that you might want to test continuity on. And you can test continuity between the cam contact on one side and continuity on the other side to make sure that they are getting continuity all the way through. It's not a complicated device. Once you understand what is actually happening with the forward and reverse switch, you just need to know how to do a continuity test, which is very simple with your own meter. Fish, 67 and sunny. It is raining here, Fish, and it's starting to get cool. Hello from Barth, Florida, Stephen Kuhn. What's up, Stephen? Rich, what's up, Rich? Tony Moak, what's up, Tony? From South Mississippi. Glad to have you, man. Bruce, Westfield, Wisconsin, chilly, 45 and windy. Yeah, you're getting some of that. Well, I'm getting some of that wind here myself and chilliness. Kevin Fry, 2 weeks until Thanksgiving, where does the time go? Ain't that the truth, Kevin? I can't believe that we're in almost the middle of November right now. That is crazy, how fast time actually does go by. The older you get, the more you realize that, how fast, and it seems like everything just speeds up. It just continues to speed up. Tony says, I have an EzGo TXT 36 with forward and reverse contactor. Cart goes faster in reverse than in forward. Cart goes faster in reverse than in forward. I've swapped the S1 and A2 and it hasn't changed. I trace all wires on contactor. Okay, this is a mechanical forward and reverse, Tony. It's an EZGO, so no run toe switch on this car. I guess you don't have any run toe switch on this car, or do you have a run toe switch on this car? I want to make sure that I'm understanding your wording there with the contactor. Rock says Saturday rain is expected and welcome. Yeah, we need it here too. Yeah. William, hey Tim, 81 in the Villages. Nice. Push button. Oh, okay. So Tony, correct me if I'm wrong. You have converted a mechanical forward and reverse system to the reversing contactor system. Is that what you're telling me? How to tell if it's a controller? Let's see. Same EZGO TXT, no toe switch. Patrick, what I would do in that case is I would eliminate everything except for the controller. Just eliminate everything. Is your solenoid clicking? If your solenoid's clicking, you know that all that stuff is getting power all the way up to the controller, and then do the motor isolation test on a no toe switch car. That means you need to do the series motor isolation test, and that's basically where you just jump an A terminal to an S terminal with a short cable, and then you put 12 volts to the other two terminals. Make sure you disconnect everything first. Disconnect all the existing wires first. Isolate the motor. So if you've got power to your controller via your solenoid clicking, and then your motor's not turning, but you did the motor test and the motor is fine, only thing in between is the controller. I can tell you that's how 99% of golf cart shops do it. Tony says correct. So you got the reversing contactor system. Okay, that's cool. Now your question was, cart goes faster in reverse than in forward. I don't know, Tony. That shouldn't be the case unless is there some kind of resistor across one of them contactors or something that's reducing your voltage when you go into reverse? That would be my only question there. Bruce, 2004 EzGo TXT gas that the secondary clutch isn't working any way to repair, or no one has one right now. When you say secondary, I'm assuming, Bruce, you mean the driven clutch. That's the one on the transaxle, not the one on the side of the motor, but the one on the transaxle. The thing does come apart. I mean, what do you mean it's not working? Because, the only thing it's supposed to do is that clutch starts closed, and then as you take off, it spreads out and the belt goes to the bottom. So, yeah, I'd take it apart if there's not one available and see if you can figure out why it's not spreading out. Doesn't open. Okay, well, you got something stuck for sure. Tony, if there's no resistor in your forward and reverse contactors, I see no reason why your reverse should be faster than forward on that particular car. I can't think of any reason. But I'm still thinking about it. Let me keep thinking. I'll come up with something maybe in a minute. Yeah, Bruce, you got something stuck in there. I'd take it apart. Oh, I got people on Facebook I haven't acknowledged. Larry Hitz, looking and sounding good here on Facebook. All right, Larry, thank you. Jeffrey, hey, switching over to YouTube. Jeff, what's up, Jeffrey? Troy Steig from Chillicothe, Illinois. Chillicothe, Illinois. What's up, Troy, anyway? Glad to have you, man. Jeffrey. Uh-oh. What did I do? I clicked on something I wasn't supposed to. Having trouble going to YouTube. Lynn Scrapper made it on time today. Good, Lynn. In the Poconos, Jeffrey. Drive and driven clutches. Thank y'all for coming. I did get your pictures, Jeffrey, too, of the engine that you did, of the Robin, twin cylinder Robin. And Jeffrey's now on YouTube. Keith, what's up, Keith? And Chris from Palmetto, Florida, watching. Thank you, Keith. Did I run social media links? I don't think I did. If you'd like to follow us somewhere else rather than YouTube and Facebook, please follow us on YouTube and Facebook and give a thumbs up. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. I'm running those little links there. We will get to the regular questions now, since the garage is now open. we'll get to the regular questions. I have this golf cart, can't make it go. I verified that the motor works, but I don't know how to test the solenoid or forward and reverse switches. I think this 93 Marathon does not have a reed switch in the charge port. Can I just disconnect the charging receptacle if that's the case? Yeah, you're correct. 93 Marathon does not have a reed switch in the charge port, so therefore you can disconnect it. It's 93 Marathon is just going to be 2 wires. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even think there's a third wire in there. There's just 2 wires, and it goes to the positive and negative of the battery pack. So yeah, you can take that out of the equation. That shouldn't have anything to do with it. And what else did you ask me? Okay, you verified the motor works. Yep, that's it. So you must have done the motor isolation test. Kirk, just noticed hat, shirt, and TV, all match color. You know, I mentioned my co-worker, Ayman, that helps me get set up every day. He noticed that too today before I went on, before I went live. He said, "Oh, everything that you have going on matches, your hat, your shirt, and the TV." Yep. That's my wardrobe department, you know, made sure that that happened. Number 2. Well, let me get to David first. David Neff on YouTube. Doing a frame-up rebuild on a club car Preston. Can I hook batteries in parallel with an 8-volt trickle charger? Oh, what are you trying to accomplish there, David? Let me make sure I understand before I answer this. You have an 8-volt trickle charger and you want to hook 2 8-volt batteries in parallel and charge 2 at a time. Is that what you're asking me? If that is the case, then yes, you can do that. Now, depending on how large your trickle charger is, that may take forever, because I mean, that's 2 8-volt batteries in parallel. That's a heck of a battery. You got to understand this. When you hook them in parallel, that's not 2 batteries anymore. That's just 1 battery, just twice as big. All right, that's all parallel does. It makes it twice as big, but it's still an 8-volt battery, just 1 though. At least that's the concept behind parallel and series. So yeah, you could do that if that's what you're trying to do, if I'm understanding your question correctly. Let me check over here. Yeah, we're good there. Fish. 2019 Club Car Preston. I put a DC Navitas 600 amp, heavy duty solenoid, 2-gauge cable. Love the speed, 20 to 26 on flats. Disappointed in the torque on the heels. Drops to 10-12. Is there something I can do? I would think that you could be able to change some settings in that Navitas and take care of that. Doesn't sound like you got something right, unless you got to understand, it doesn't sound like you didn't change the motor. Okay, well, the stock motor may not even, it may not even be capable of pulling 600 amps. This is where we get into that people don't understand sometimes. When I try to explain, you can put as big a controller on a golf cart as you want to, and it's recommended. Bigger controller as you can afford. And then that way you'll be ready for your motor later on down the road, because you have 600 amps available. Doesn't necessarily mean that that motor is going to use all 600 amps. The motor is only going to use what it's capable of using. So if we're talking about the stock motor, that could be the issue. But first, you look in the programming of the Navitas and see if you can change anything. Mike Irwin. Hey all, what's up, Mike Irwin? Increased torque on the heels and kept my speed on the flats. Increased torque on heels and keep my speed on the flats. Stock motor. Yeah, see, that might be what's going on, Fish. That stock motor just might not be able to utilize the extra amps that you have available. I mean, your setup right now is just begging for a torque motor or a big old speed motor in there so it could pull more amps. Jeff Smith, on that secondary clutch, the steel shaft is rusted or the bushing is worn out on the movable sheave, or the spring broke and it has jammed. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Something is stuck, and if you take it off, it's going to be obvious because there's not very many moving parts to that whole system on that driven clutch. So yeah, cool. Yeah, you're right. All right. On number 3. This is from Michelle. I'm looking for heavy-duty leaf springs and want to haul an additional 300 to 350 pounds. Which heavy-duty springs would be best for that amount of weight? Well, generally, we talked about this several times, heavy-duty leaf springs, they come in multi-layers and multi-leafs. So 300 to 350 pounds is quite a bit. You know, that's like hauling around a 4-passenger kit with 2 big people on the back all the time. So I would recommend as many multi-leafs as you can, or as many leafs in your heavy-duty leaf springs as you can get. Like if you find a 3-leaf spring, that would be great. You know, something real stiff like that. Keep in mind, that's going to be a really stiff ride when you're not hauling around all that weight, though. Patrick Welch, how often does a controller fail on a 99 cart with no tow? Well, it depends, Patrick. Is this a lifted car or is this a non-lifted car on stock height tires? Because anytime you put taller tires, it puts that controller under more of a strain and they're going to fail more often. The more often you put it, okay, so it's not lifted. Well, it can happen. I mean, obviously they do fail. Okay, it's not lifted. I got you. So it's a stock golf cart. The controller does fail, and sometimes they fail for no reason, especially back then. Around that time, you know, in 99 and stuff, around that year, or in that time, in that zone of when I was running my golf cart shop, you know, right in that area. Jeffrey just noticed my blue shirt and blue hat. Yeah, it said my wardrobe department hooked me up, and with this blue screen back here. That's all part of the ambiance in this room right now. It's a blue kind of thing going on in here. Stock controllers too, Patrick, are rebuilt controllers. I can tell you this: I've had good luck with rebuilt controllers, and I've had rebuilt controllers that didn't last very long. So, I mean, that would be where are you getting your controllers from, and what controller are you talking about? Paul Fortune, I cleaned up my EZGO. Water got in the ITS case. I dried it out and it started working. After stopping, I could not get it going again. The Navitas 400 green light flashed and paused. Okay, is that the code for ITS, Paul? The flashed 2 greens and paused. Go to golfcartgarage.com, Fish, and look at some of the motors that we have, because they actually tell you a percentage of speed increase and a percentage of torque increase. So we have some that claim, you know, that they don't reduce in torque and they gain speed. Generally, you're going to gain speed, but you're going to lose torque. Generally, but see, you've got some other things going for you there. You've got 600 amps available. So it's very likely you could gain speed and gain torque because you have a lot of speed available. So go look at the motors that we have and look at the percentage of gain on each, because they're very specific. Patrick says Amazon replacement. Okay, was it a brand new stock OEM? That would be hard to find nowadays, a brand new stock OEM. So is it a rebuilt controller is what it is. A rebuilt controller usually has a sticker on it from the rebuild company. Paul Fortune, where can I find the codes for flashes? 440 Navitas codes for flashes. We should have those on our website, Paul. If not, call up Golf Cart Garage and we can get you the code sheet for that for sure. But I wouldn't doubt if we had that. China new. See, Patrick? Now I got all kinds of thoughts going on now about your situation. How much? I'm curious. how much did that cost? I mean, I know how much a good controller would cost normally, even a rebuilt one, if it was an OEM rebuilt one. So how much did that one cost? Where am I at here? Number 4. This is from Keeson. Yeah, see, Patrick, a rebuilt controller, they're going to charge you $250 nowadays for a rebuilt one. And the fact they can sell that one brand new for $175, it makes me question some things there. My golf cart runs perfectly fine, but every now and then it starts clicking, and then it goes completely dead, and the next day it runs fine again and nothing happened. What could be the problem? Thanks for the help. It could be a number of things, but one of the things that would cause your symptom would be a loose connection can actually cause that symptom. You've got a loose battery cable somewhere, and then it starts getting warm, and then as it gets warm, it gets looser and looser and looser, and then that can start causing the car to click. Like the solenoid, sometimes a bad connection will cause a solenoid to click on and off. One bad cell in one of your batteries could be dropping out at a certain time. So I'd have questions about, how old your batteries are, what are the voltages on your batteries at time of failure. I'd have things like that so we could kind of narrow it down. But that's 2 things that you should be looking out for. It's a loose connection and taking a voltage reading on your batteries at time of failure. William, everyone hit the like button. Thank you, William. We have a warehouse, D-Max, and we carry a lot of our inventory, but not all of it. But yeah, we do carry a lot of our inventory. Jeffrey Schmidt says, I found out WEZGO Company will make you pistons and gasket sets if you order 24 or more at a time for any golf cart engine. Cool. I didn't know if they still were around or not. I haven't ordered it. Haven't had to order a piston in quite a while. But yeah, that's good. Jeffrey rebuilds golf cart motors. He sent me a picture of twin cylinder Robin he just got through with, and he said he rebuilt it with all American-made parts, which sometimes nowadays that can be difficult. So that's cool. Greg Elliott, I just got here and hit the thumbs up. First thing always. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for stopping by. All right, where's old number 5? And I think this is where we got the title of this episode from, if I'm not mistaken. This is from Donald. I stored my golf cart in a shed in the panhandle of Florida, where the average daytime temp is 85 degrees, and probably the temp inside the shed gets to 120 to 140 degrees for up to 4 months at a time. Is that the proper thing to do? What high temp would you consider extreme? Well, it's not the best thing to do, but what other choice do you have? And what other choice does everybody in the panhandle of Florida have, or everybody in South Florida, or everybody in South Texas? I mean, there's no other choice, and it still goes on. Because, I mean, believe me, even some of the highest end golf courses, in the South do not have climate-controlled cart barns. I'm sure there probably is some, but none that I was ever associated with. And in East Texas, it gets pretty hot in the cart barn also. So it's definitely not the ideal situation. Your golf cart would be better off if it was in a cooler environment and the batteries were maintained in a cooler environment. I mean, I've had much better luck with golf carts that I've purchased from way up north rather than ones that I purchased in the South. Some of the ones that I've gotten up north, because their golf season is so short, they last twice as long or even more. I've got I purchased some golf carts one time from the border of Canada, and they were some of the best conditioned golf carts that I ever purchased. They were shipped all the way to my shop in East Texas. Plowboy 800, hello from South East Wisconsin. What's up, Playboy? One of our previous bag of swag winners. You won a hat. So anyway, where was I talking about? I was talking about number 5 in 140, 200 to 240. Now, that's pretty hot. And as long as someone's taking care of the batteries, it's going to be fine, because it just goes on all over the place, is my point. If there's nothing you can do about it, then there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if you had a climate-controlled storage area for your golf cart, would I rather that? Sure. Your batteries would rather that too, but it'll be fine. You're just going to have to deal with it. Number 6. This is from Reed. I have a Club Card DS with Duramax engine, and it starts to move when idle in gear. It has a yellow spring. What spring do I need so the clutch is not engaged at idle? I think somebody did some mods, obviously, some heavy-duty mods on your cart. But I think you're looking at it wrong. If you see the yellow spring, then you're talking about the driven clutch. Well, that one is not the one you got to worry about it idling. You need to worry about the drive clutch. The drive clutch has got to be open enough so the car will sit there and idle. Unless you have a neutral gear in the rear end. I mean, do you have a neutral gear that it can actually go into in the rear end? So anyway, you're really going to have to speak with the person that did all the mods with the Duramax engine and everything in order to figure out what all they've done. In order to get or you're going to have to just research it yourself, because anytime when you start doing those mods, sometimes you got to figure things out like that. And if I'm understanding it correctly, then you're talking about the driven clutch. You think that's engaging the cart. Well, that's not what you have to worry about. You have to let the drive clutch slack up and let the drive clutch spin without engaging on the belt. That's what you need to do in your situation, I believe. Number 7. This is from Jack L. After a week or so, I drive my gas-powered golf cart to a neighbor's, and when I stop, of course the engine will stop, and I will drop something off. When I get in the cart and hit the gas, nothing happens. I come back after an hour or two, the golf cart will start up, and I can go home. Then in a few minutes, I'll get back on the cart, and it won't start. What do you think the issue is, and what parts do I need to repair this? Okay, you never told me exactly what kind of cart. You just said it's a gas cart. I'm just reading to make sure. Well, Jack, you got several things that that can cause that issue in a gas cart. I just had this conversation with someone right before I went live, I believe, on the phone. You got the pedal stop switch, like your accelerator pedal is hooked to a micro switch somewhere, no matter what kind of golf cart you have in a gas cart. Somewhere there's going to be, when you touch that accelerator pedal, it activates a micro switch somewhere, either in the G core if it's a modern club car, or just a very obvious micro switch that has a rod, or something like that. That's one thing that can cause that. Another thing that I have found over the years that can cause that is brushes in the starter. I've discovered that you can have an intermittent issue because your brushes, or one of your brushes in the starter, is getting really, really short, and it's making intermittent contact on the armature. That's another thing. Solenoid, yeah, I've seen intermittent solenoids. So there's several things depending on what cart you have and what the year is. Jeffrey Smith, I've been using them since the 70s. Talking about the whiണെങ്കിൽ. Yeah, they've been around a long time. I used to ride two-stroke dirt bikes, and I even go so far back as I had two-stroke three-wheelers, the crazy fast two-stroke three-wheelers, and that was back then, back in the day when whiണെങ്കിൽ was the big thing. Number 8 is where we are at. Let me check Facebook before I go to number 8. Yeah, we're still good over here. Yep. This is from Billy. Why would my 36-volt EZGO equipped with 2-year-old, always filled with distilled water and charged after every use, Duracell Sam's batteries go from being able to play 48 holes of golf a year ago, now down to barely making it 18 holes today? The PowerWise charger appears to be working properly. Bad cables bought when I bought the batteries. Loose cables, just crappy batteries. What do you think? I can tell you what I think, but I don't really know if you want to hear it or not. And I'm only basing this off of the fact that I own some of those Duracell batteries. I do, not in a golf cart, but I do own several of them in other vehicles. And I talk to customers all the time. I'm not sure that I've heard a real positive review on them yet, except for the review about how much they cost, because they're not expensive. In fact, they're probably, compared to Trojans, like a brand new set of Trojan golf cart batteries is probably the most expensive lead acid that you can get. I tell my customers about that. I've been a Trojan dealer for many years, Trojan authorized dealer. Even before Golf Cart Garage, I was a Trojan dealer. And they're the ones I've had the least amount of trouble with as far as lead acid batteries go. So that's why I've stuck with Trojan. On the other end of that price scale is those Duracell Sam's batteries. You got one extreme there to the other. And like I said, I haven't heard a positive review on those. I've heard many positive reviews on a good set of Trojans. So that's all I'll say about that. So it's very likely that it could just be, you had said something about loose, what did you say? Let me see. Number 8, you had said bad cables, bought when I bought the batteries, loose cables, there's just crappy batteries. Every one of those is a possibility, but I'm kind of leaning toward just crappy batteries, and a load test may be in order, or a discharge test may be in order. So it's just so you know what's going on with your batteries. You need to get that out of the way. Number 9. "36-volt EZGO cart that is starting to surge and have delayed throttle response." All right. 36-volt EZGO starting to surge and have delayed throttle response. Batteries are new, so there's not a voltage issue. Would it be controller or possibly a dead spot in the motor winding? I can tell you this, the most likely thing it is, I'm glad you eliminated the batteries for me, and I've never seen a dead spot in the motor winding cause those symptoms. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it couldn't happen, but you know, because like anything's possible with these electrical systems like this when you get wires crossed and you get voltage going on in the wrong direction and all kinds of stuff. It disrupts the magnetic fields and they can do anything they want to. So, but the most likely thing is what you're describing is going to be ITS. See, my TV just went out. Went to sleep. Most likely thing is going to be your ITS, because your ITS is responsible for the surging. It's the one that's sending the surging signal. I just got off the phone with somebody recently that they found all kinds of water in their ITS and dried it out, and everything's fine. Go over here real quick and check something. No, we're good there. Why did I think drive? William Rizzo, I put a whisko piston in my 78 Suzuki RMA. I had a Suzuki RM100, William. I did. I rode the crap out of that thing for many years. I think I did put a new piston in it at one time. I had the RM100. I think, I kind of remember what year it was. I don't know. Can't remember what year it was. Tap the starter, probably the brushes, Jeffrey said. Yeah, you can tap the starter. Who was I was talking to about that, Jeffrey? Can't remember. But yeah, tap that. Tap your starter. Sometimes that'll help. Tap the solenoid a little bit. Sometimes you can find an issue like that. Kirk says on your TV there's a setting so it won't go to sleep. Well, I hope I can remember to look for that setting, because it goes to sleep on me now every show. It must last about 30 minutes and then goes to sleep. Number 10, this is the last scheduled question from Jimmy. I have a noise coming from the rear end of the cart. Could this be rear end fluid? Well, I've never saw fluid cause a noise, but the lack of fluid, may cause a noise. So as long as there's some fluid in there, as long as there's some gear oil in there, it most likely wouldn't be that. So check that and make sure that there is gear oil in there. But if not, then there's several places you could be getting noise. There's lots of bearings, and in fact, there's bearings all over, from the ends of the axles to the motor itself, to the input shaft, to the differential. And I can tell you this: it's very hard sometimes to isolate exactly what direction a noise is coming from, because it kind of reverberates through the rear end, and it all comes out of one place. You just know it's coming from the rear, but it's hard to determine what area, or left or right, or in the center. Sometimes it's definitely hard, so I get it. But no, I've never seen fluid. Now, lack of fluid though, make sure it's got some gear oil in there, and see if it doesn't, put some in there and see if that changes, and then you figured out your problem. You might have some damaged bearings if it's been running around with no gear oil. 𝗟𝗂𝗃𝗁𝗂, hey Tim, I'm late again. What's up, Larry? Got Jack Anderson over on Facebook. What's the tallest tire for an 8-inch rim that you can think of? The tallest that I have ever, I don't know about the tallest that you can get, Jack, but I can tell you this: the tallest I ever used, I talked about it on an episode or two ago, was I put 22-inch tires on 8-inch rims. There was some, I think they were Duros. I think they're only 2-ply tires, so it's very, very light duty. They're knobbies though, very light duty knobbies, very light, on 8-inch rims. Gave me a lot of room for air pressure adjustment, because this car was going to be used in the woods, and had put it on a lifted EZGO Marathon, and that was the smoothest riding car, and I could adjust air pressure and make it even smoother. I mean, it just floated through the woods. I had a big controller in it, to keep my torque and stuff up. But yeah, 22-inch on 8s is a pretty good setup, as far as if you want a real smooth floating ride, like a magic carpet through the woods. You can do it. Some people don't want that. But there's what it calls for in the manual fish, like on gear oil. Most golf carts that I have seen, if you look in the manual for gear oil, it calls for 30-weight gear oil. That's all it says, 30-weight gear oil. But I can assure you, there's so little of it in there, you could put anything in there you wanted to that said the words gear oil on the container, and it would be fine. I mean, that's a real differential in a golf cart. It's just like an automobile differential, just in a smaller form. Okay, I don't have anything again for let's see. I missed I know Kevin said he sent me some pictures, and I have not found them yet, and I looked for them. So Kevin, Big Mike's buddy, sent me some pictures, I believe, but I haven't found them. So anyway, send me some pictures, y'all, so we can get some let's see stuff going again. Haven't had any let's see stuff in a while. I'll run that social media stuff one more time. If you'd like to follow us on any of these other platforms, you're welcome to. Please give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, and you will get a notification of every time we go live. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon Central Time. And are y'all ready for this? Got to make sure you come back next week, Tuesday. Guess what? Tuesday it's time to give away a hat. We're giving away another bag of swag on Tuesday. So everybody listening right now, make sure you come back Tuesday. We are going to give away another bag of swag on Tuesday. If you can't wait till, for your chance to win a hat for free, then you can go to the links in the description that take you straight to the hats. There they are. Bam, 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 bam. There's 4 different colors. There's a link. There's hot links in the description that will take you right to them. You can always buy one at Golf Cart Garage if you would like to, or you can take your chances on winning one. And like I said, Tuesday is the day. We are going to give one away on Tuesday, so make sure you come back. And I do not have anything for Let's See, so if you would like to send some pictures to me, and we will feature them, any type of golf cart related picture or modification or something to do with a golf cart, please feel free. And I'm still looking for Kevin's pictures. He said he sent me some. I've got some from a couple of you that I just wanted to see if I got any more before I posted them. So I do have some, but I just don't have them with me today. After drill a series of small holes around the end of the piston to push rings out to raise your compression. Okay, now you're getting into some stuff there. Let me check Facebook over here. No, we're good over there. Okay, if you would like to give us any suggestions at Golf Cart Garage, please feel free to. We are always open to it. Here's some contact info that you can send some suggestions to, or some pictures. You can send photographs to that email right there, support@golfcartgarage.com. Put attention Tim on it if you would like, and that way I'll be sure and get the photos. But you can also type some suggestions on products that we need to carry or anything like that. You can type it in the chat. There's the phone number for Golf Cart Garage. Also, if you would like to order, next time you order anything from Golf Cart Garage, you can use, well, this is only good till tomorrow, so I'll be getting another one, but here's the coupon. Get 5% off any parts you order at golfcartgarage.com if you use coupon code TIM15. That's TIM15. This particular code, TIM15, will expire tomorrow, November the 10th on 2023. So you got to use that one, but I'll have a new one by the time I come back on Tuesday for the hat giveaway. I'll have a new coupon code. So if you wanted to order something today, you can use that one. All right, guys, that looks like it's going to be about it. Let me make sure I've got everything on Facebook buttoned up over there. Yep. Everything's good. All right. I will see everybody on Tuesday. And remember, everybody come back. 22 by 11 by 8 with wheel spacers. Yep, that's going to be you can make a smooth ride if you go with 22s on 8s. All this low profile stuff, that's out there now, I understand it looks cool and everything, but a lot of people are surprised because they figure out that's not really exactly what they wanted, when they're cart. Just think about this. Think about going low profile and lithium at the same time. Think about what that's going to do to your ride as far as the smoothness of your ride. That's going to be a pretty stiff cart, is what I'm saying. So some of you, may like the smoother ride. All right. I'll see everybody Tuesday. Y'all come back because we'll be giving away a hat. The garage is now closed.